Hello, my name is Laura Bradshaw and I've been asked by Community Music Wales to do a video about the way that I do music. I'm actually a community musician but also a natural voice practitioner, meaning I use my voice a lot in the workshops and I run community choirs. But today on this video I'll be using voice. I'll also be using sounds made by things that I find around the house, in the kitchen, a hairbrush, maybe even a glasses case, things like that, really random things, a washing up bowl. And also I'm going to use random lyrics that have come from a newspaper. And to create the flow of those lyrics and the flow of those sounds, I'm going to use a dice. So it becomes like chance music, or you could call it a game. It's a game for creating music, which is kind of fun sometimes to do something a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to first of all start by doing a very basic vocal warm-up, because using the voice is such a healthy thing to do and it's been proven so. So even if you're on your own in your home, it is a wonderful thing to do, as a lot of us are doing at the moment during Corona lockdown. But even better when you come together with a group of people and hear your voice in relation to everyone else's. It's just a really lovely, powerful thing to experience and quite healing as well. So anyway, here we go. So I'm going to start off by just swishing side to side. Obviously do everything in your own way that feels right for your body. Don't do anything. If I do a cartwheel, you mustn't do a cartwheel unless you can. I've never done a cartwheel in my life, so don't worry about that. Okay. So I swish a few times and then I'm just going to have a little wiggle. Wiggling is good. Silly noises are good. What we would preconceive as silly noises, I should say. They're perfectly sensible noises. Shoulder circles. And as you bring those shoulders up, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, we're going to blow out. So we're going to expel all the air from our lungs comfortably. Don't do this so much that you're going to faint or anything like that. So breathing out, hiss all the air out. Hold that for a couple of seconds. I've probably got some more left. And then when you're ready, just breathe in. And obviously do that comfortably. Maybe just watch me a couple of times and then do it. But what that exercise does is it releases all the air, and then as there's almost an emergency, the air will rush into your lungs in a really healthy way, naturally, the natural voice network. Okay, so just have another wiggle, and we're just going to give your cheeks a wiggle, and just have a big yawn. Wiggle your jaw side to side, waking up your jaw, waking up your cheeks, waking up your tongue. All the things that help you to shape the sound and make the sound feel really lovely to yourself and develop your tone the more you do these sorts of things as well. So, usually I would do a lot more, and I would do some breathing. In fact, let's just do one or two breathing exercises. So I often do a Tai Chi breath, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, similar to a Tai Chi breath, I'm just going to breathe in as my arms come out, and then breathe out as my arms come in. So it's sort of mirroring, showing the action of my lungs. So I'm breathing in, nice and slowly, and then I'm breathing out. And I'm breathing in through my nose, and then I'm breathing out through my mouth. One more time, and then breathing in through my nose, and then out through my mouth. And just those simple things, obviously try and do them a few more times, just really get rid of any tension in your lungs and allow the air to come all the way to the bottom of your lungs for your breath without holding any tension. So what I've done is I pre-prepared for one of the exercises I usually do as a warm-up is a long note exercise, and I just usually do it to hums and ahs and oohs. But today, because I'm trying to add a little bit of word content and random content into my workshop, I've actually pre-prepared some words, some headlines from a newspaper, cut out, and I'll just show you a few of them. Actually, they're all on a tray. So some of them are big. One of them says, achieving the impossible. Another says, that's dream come true money. Another says, a tiny one says, ahead of the game. Another one says, we'll keep the world posted. And this is actually from the newspaper that you get on the train. We'll soon help you. So there's nothing too deep. But if you want to, have deep thoughts and you can use a different newspaper, or I've just come across an instance today, actually, where a fellow natural voice practitioner, composer, Penny Stone, has written a song based on tweets of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the American politician. And it's a really interesting way of, using words that you find elsewhere. Obviously, if they're more than just like a random headline, you need to attribute those words to that person and ask permission. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my eyes. This is going to be really hard because some of them are really tiny and some of them are really big. So I'm closing my eyes. I've got a load. Oh, there's a big one and a little one. Which one is going to succeed? I'm sort of swizzling. Oh, the little one. Greenhouse gas with a side of chips. Okay, that was kind of, yeah, you can read that many ways, couldn't you? Okay, so greenhouse gas with a side of chips. I don't know whether you can read that, but it's from a little, article in that particular newspaper. Greenhouse gas with a side of chips. So I'm going to try and remember that. I'm not very good at remembering things. So what I'm going to do, I've just done my very quick warm-up, which normally I would take longer over. Really important, I'm feeling that I can breathe properly. So just think about that for a moment. Think about your breathing, letting your tummy relax, let it all flop out. This is natural voice way of singing, is just to make sure everything feels relaxed and you're not trying to be anything you're not. You're just being you in your natural voice. We're not trying to pretend to be some pop singer or opera singer. We're just being us. And actually by doing that, you keep your own identity and you actually treasure your own identity, which is really important. As a community musician, that's what I try to encourage in the people that I'm working with. So I know this video will be going out to CMW, Community Music Wales's mailing list, and so it'll be going out to the community, but it'll also be going out to trainee tutors or people interested in becoming community musicians, and what a great, wonderful career it is. Okay, so I'm feeling all relaxed in my body, feeling like I can breathe fully. I'm bringing that air right down to the bottom of my lungs, and I've forgotten the headline, greenhouse gas with a side of chips. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the long note exercise, which I normally do in my warm-ups, in my workshops, but I'm going to sing those words. So I'm not thinking about what pitch I sing. I'm just purely coming out with whatever comes out. Each syllable I sing to a different note. So how many syllables is that? Greenhouse gas with a side of chips. That's, I can't count, 8. It's 8 different syllables, okay? Normally I do this exercise with my eyes closed, but I'm going to keep them open because I have a feeling my 50-plus brain is going to forget those that thing. So I'm going to breathe in and then I'm going to sing green. I've no idea what note's going to come out. It'll be hopefully somewhere around where I'm naturally speaking. So here we go. So I'm going to breathe in. Green. Then I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to sing house. So gas with a side And obviously some of those words you want to sing, if you were saying them, if you were speaking it, you would say them really, really short and just skip along with those words. But for that particular exercise, it was quite nice to extend every word, except I put of and into it one breath, which was just a choice I made in the moment, and that was fine. That's fine to do as well. Trust yourself, it's good. So that's the long note exercise. I mean, I could have taken a bit longer over that and gone a bit higher maybe, just to warm up my higher voice, and lower maybe, but that felt okay for that little thing. And actually, I think a melody came out as well, which, you know, if I wanted to, I could actually, what note did I choose for each of those? And I could write a little ditty or a little improvisation based on the notes and that little riff there for greenhouse gas and a side of chips. Okay, so what you see here is me having some fun with things I found around the house in the kitchen. I found a flask that makes a really nice resonant sound when you tap it with your hand. And you have to practice it, of course, to get the best sound. And you don't hit it hard, just gently. A plastic bowl upside down works as a nice hand drum. A plastic bowl the right way round with couscous or rice or something like that tipped into it and gently swayed around, not too vigorously because it ended up with a mess everywhere, but I suppose it would always hoover up. And also a glasses case. So that was just me having fun and creating some rhythms, just to show that you can, you know, whatever you've got around. You can use a table as a drum, tap on a drum, just use your imagination. Okay, so on this particular video, I'm trying to use anything that you can find around the house. I've got loads of instruments because I've been a community musician for 30 years now, so I do have everything I possibly could need around the house. But I think it's really great and interesting for myself even, to make use of stuff that you have around the house. So here I have a vitamin bottle that is plastic, that I filled with stuff like couscous and things like that, and it's actually a really lovely shaker. So I'm going to use that for this next improvisation exercise. So I'm going to use some more of those words that are from that newspaper, the random words, but this time I've chosen 6 that are simple, to the point, and I've given them a number each. So I'm going to roll the dice and see which one to do first, and I'll use the shaker to just try and create some phrases using those words. And when I've done one enough, I'll choose another. I'll roll the dice again. So here we go. So here's the first rolling of the dice, just to show it's really random. So it's landed upright. So it's on number 5. Number 5 is top tip. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. Here goes for top tip. Top tip, 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 top tip. Top tip, 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 top tip. Number 4 is blatantly in a bubble, 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 and I'll leave a gap now. Blatantly in a bubble, a gap for you to copy. Blatantly in a bubble, blatantly in a bubble, blatantly in a bubble, and I'll do the dice again. Ooh, number 6. Ooh, I'm not going to do number 6. I'm going to do another one. I'll show you why in a bit, because I'll just end on that one. Number 1. Tons of fun. Tons of fun, tons of fun. Tons of fun, tons of fun. And I suppose you could add your own little bits as well. We're having tons of fun. Tons of fun. I'll do another one. And you can just be singing while I'm trying to roll the dice and shake at the same time. Here we go. Oh, no, it's number 6. I'm going to go with number 6. Okay, so this will be the last one. And it's the one that says end on a high. End on So what you've just seen was me singing through those 5 headlines that I randomly picked out of the hat. I rolled a dice to choose which one went in which order, and then just sang them, just made it up on the spot. No pressure. I cheated a bit because I kept the end on a high to the end because I thought that would be quite nice. So on the next clip, you see me singing to these random words that I've chosen out of a hat, so to speak, just improvising, thinking in the moment what's going to come out, or not even worrying about how it's going to sound. It just comes out. Each word, each series of words has its own sense of how I would speak it, so how I would sing it, I keep that idea going, and a different melody comes out with each set of words as well. It's quite liberating, and I hope that you can have a go on your own with your own chosen words or random words, because it's a useful and fun exercise to do. Top tip, top tip, top tip, top tip. Recently in a bubble, yeah, in a bubble. Recently in a bubble, in a bubble. Recently in a bubble, top in a bubble. Recently in a bubble, in a bubble. The show must go on. 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 So you see me improvising with my voice, but also on each screen I've got a different household instrument that just anyone would find around their house. So on one of the screens I've got the flask again, which I think is just a lovely resonant sound. I've got my shaker, which I made, which I use quite a lot actually. It's a really nice sound. I've also got a hairbrush and a piece of Lego platform that acts like a guiro. I don't know whether you can hear it, so there's a scratchy sound. I'm also using wooden spoons, which are amazing. They're quite gentle, which is quite nice. And then a paintbrush, actual paintbrush with a metal dessert bowl, which is really resonant. So sing along with it for the rest of it if you'd like. So just a word about feeling liberated in your voice. As small children, if you look at any small children on the whole, they'll be using their voices to make silly animal noises and really expressive in their voices. Gradually, as we become adults, become really conscious about, oh, so-and-so is a really good singer, or, you know, I've got to be quiet, or whatever. We lose the art of feeling liberated in our singing and probably in our movement as well. And it really stops our self-expression and probably doesn't help with our mental health either. So I've got a thing about, you know, even if I go back to what I've just done and think, oh, well, actually, if I was to turn that into a proper song or a song, then I might change some of it. But actually, no, I was happy with what I did. It was in the moment. And I think the more we can encourage ourselves and the people who come to our workshops or our friends to be liberated and be proud of their singing and enjoy it, then the better we'll all be at expressing ourselves, which has a knock-on effect, of course, on society. That's why we're community music. So on the next clip on the video, it's quite strange. I'm doing something quite abstract, but I found it quite engaging. So hopefully some of you will if you do this sort of exercise as well. I chose an 8-beat pattern. I randomly threw a dice to create to coincide with the objects that I was using to create sound. So each allocated object had a number that they were supposed to be played on with each 8-beat sequential part. And I just carried on doing that for a couple of minutes. So I recommend it as an exercise, and it takes us away from our preconceptions about music. You can invent new little grooves or completely unique sounds that no one has ever done before, or rhythms or sound balances. And the chance element is fun too. You know, why would you want to use chance in music? Why can't we just decide? Well, we can decide, and deciding for ourselves is amazing, and we should totally do that. But actually, to take a chance element as well can give us a bit of confidence that we're going out of our comfort zone. We're trusting that this will work. You know, we're sort of, it's on the run of a dice. What's going to happen? Oh, I'm playing the shaker on beat 3. That's quite nice. You know, it's reassuring to make it work. And also it's quite arty. It can be quite arty. And on another level, it can be a fun game. If you're doing it with 4 other people, you can have a real laugh trying to keep your part together. So it's a slow build-up on that exercise, but you can see I wanted to prove that I was actually using a dice and just taking it that openly, that this was going to happen in real time. So I throw the dice, I get the instrument ready, or I throw the couscous in the bowl ready to shake it, and you can actually hear me rolling the dice, which makes the listening experience a bit chaotic. But yeah, it was quite fun to do, so I totally recommend watching. See what happens, see if you can latch onto any of the instruments or the hairbrush or anything like that I'm using.